Week 3 finally in the books, and holy crap, what a bunch of surprises there were. So we're gonna be going into week 4 now, and just to clarify, I wow. So some highlights are the Dolphins beating the Broncos 70-20. That's yeah. Brandon Staley getting bailed out again, and whatever the Bears have going on. So we're gonna get right into week 4. Or let's do this. So Thursday night football, we're already getting a good matchup. Lions versus Packers. First, it is important to note both teams are 2-1. And they're going to be playing in Lambeau. Both teams are fighting for the division lead at this point, and I think this is going to be a good matchup. I have the Packers winning due to it being home field advantage in Lambeau. That's probably the key thing that's going to secure them the victory. However, I think this game could very easily go into overtime as they win on a field goal, 31-28 overtime victory. Next, we have our first London game of the NFL season. The Falcons will be the road team featuring the home 1 and 2 Jaguars. Now, it's important to note that the Jaguars have been playing surprisingly well when it comes to London games. And despite what their records suggest, I think that the Jaguars are going to end up pulling this one out over the Falcons, and especially after the previous performance. This is going to be when the Jaguars start bouncing back. But yeah, there's really not much you can say about the Falcons. Officially starting off the 1 o'clock batch is the Dolphins visiting the Bills. These two teams are among the division contenders for sure. And despite the Dolphins coming off that dominant performance, you gotta remember this team is going to be playing in Buffalo, where they're gonna have to contend with some cold weather, possibly. And honestly, I think that home field thing is once again the factor as to why I think the Bills win this one. They'll be tied for the division lead because both teams are good. And so that's what we have here. Bills over the Dolphins. Hey, you want to know a little something? An injury riddled Ravens is going to be facing off against the Cleveland Browns. Now it's in Cleveland. And like I stated, with how injury prone the Ravens are, it's only a matter of time before Lamar Jackson himself gets hurt to where they'll have to bring in somebody to back him up. Most likely Tyler Huntley. And even though the Browns are gonna be spending the rest of the year without their main guy on offense, Nick Chubb, they are in fact going to win over the Ravens simply because they're still healthy overall. And we have our first Tank Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, that's right. This is our very first Tank Bowl of the year. The Denver Broncos going to take on the Chicago Bears. Both have just recently gotten blown out by the opponents they were on the road against. And now they gotta face each other where the goal is to lose the game. And not like it matters much. But the Broncos are gonna take this one simply because they at least have a functioning quarterback and a somewhat functioning offense that can score points. We don't know what the Bears are doing. I mean, they just need a new everything at this point, even new owner. Oh, and now we gotta go deal with the Rams and the Colts. And the Colts are coming off a game they should not have won, whereas the Rams are coming off of a close loss. However, the Rams still have the better roster overall, and they're just simply playing better than the Colts. Well, we know Colts. Well, it's just that you're trying to jump ahead further than usual. Well, it's gonna be the Rams who win this one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our tie of the week. Hey, let's be honest here, both these teams don't deserve to be here. And that's actually not the record of the Buccaneers. Nope, we're jumping too far ahead, but they're actually 2-1. I should have fixed that, but who cares? They're likely gonna have that be 2-1-1, given how bad both these teams can be, given that it's the NFC South. Somebody has to emerge, but this is my tie of the week. You already saw this matchup arrive earlier, but Washington and Philly. And yes, the Eagles are the favorites. They really are the favorites to win and go 4-0. However, I would like to point out that even my Eagles are not perfect. And given how much Washington has played spoiler against them, I think that Washington's actually going to win this one, which is a surprise. I know, heresy. You gotta pick the Eagles every time. Like I said, even my Eagles have their flaws and aren't perfect. So I think this is gonna be where the Eagles lose their first game of the season. Well, one of these two teams need to get out of there and quickly. And this one, given that the Titans are pretty much sucking at this point, they're sucking so badly they're even in touching part of the versus as they're having home field. If recent history is anything to go by, the Bengals win this one easily. Ryan Tannehill is running out of gas here. Derrick Henry is running out of gas here. A lot of players are running out of gas here. It's just a Bengal show. By the way, we're getting two tank bowls in one. Okay, because wrapping up the 1 o'clock stretch, we have two more winless teams. The Vikings. They're playing better than what their record states. And then the Panthers, who are just simply trying to get by, trying to monitor Bryce Young with Andy Dalton running. And it's just too early for the Panthers to try to bloom at this point. They're not trying to fight for playoffs, they're just trying to fight to provide for a future. And the Vikings, as I stated, they're playing better. They're playing better than what their record suggests. They should have won on last week, but they will take this one to get their first win of the season against the Panthers. Oh, look! Entering the one and only 405, more specifically entering the late stretch, we have the Battle of Incompetence. Josh McDaniels versus Brandon Staley. This is what? Round 5 with these two? No, round 3 with these two. It's round 3. And one of these are going to have to emerge victorious. I still don't trust Josh McDaniels with running a team. So give me Justin Herbert and the Chargers over the Raiders. Oh boy, am I gonna be surprised if this one gets pushed as being what the majority of America gets as the game of the week. Two hated teams, Patriots and the Cowboys. Nobody wants either team to win, except for their own respective fan bases. Is and there's really no contest. They're widely hated. Unfortunately, somebody has to win. In this case, the Cowboys are going to end up beating the Patriots like they usually do in the past few seasons. So, Cowboys over the Patriots. Well, isn't this gonna wrap up the late games in horrible fashion? Cardinals versus 49ers. Yes, you did win one earlier or last week, Arizona. I figure you were going to win at least one or two random games this year, but it's time for you to snap back to reality. 49ers are going to kick your butt and they're not going to stop. It's every year. And now for our Sunday night football matchup where it's the Chiefs visiting the Jets. If Aaron Rodgers was playing, not only would the Jets be at better record, but they would have also been in close competition with the Chiefs. That said, Chiefs win this one either way because they have a lot more talent on offense. They have a lot more defensive talent. Why put that to waste when you can beat up on a Aaron Rodgers-less Jets team? And now we're finally back to only one Monday night matchup, and that is the Seahawks and the Giants. And it's funny enough, Bing says that the Giants are the favorites to win. I'm not sure what they see in the Giants, but that's certainly gonna not be the case. As the Seahawks have a much better quarterback, surprisingly enough, and DK Metcalf, he's still making plays, of course. We're saying, well, there's really not much else to say. The Seahawks are going to win this game against the Giants. And here's one last look at where everything stacks up. And as you can see, a lot different, and things are starting to shape up to be interesting. And you can expect stuff like that. And that's pretty much where we stand with these predictions. Oh, thank you all so much for tuning in to this. You guys know the drill by now. Oh, I don't need to harp on it a little bit later. Or who cares? There's your own choice. Until next time, travel safely.